Hey, I'm the MMA loser and I'm back with another video after a long time. Before I start the video, please subscribe to my channel. It helps me make better videos and also helps me make more videos. Your So please support my channel and subscribe. Now, without any further ado, let us talk about the UFC Fight Night main event between top featherweight contenders, that is Josh Emmet and El Matador Ilia Topuria. Now, featherweight division right now is going crazy. They have a lot of great talent in the featherweight division. The champ, that is Alexander Volkanovski, is pound for pound ranked number two, and his performance against Makachev was great as well. The entire featherweight roster is full of killers, and two of them, that is the number five ranked Josh Emmett and number nine ranked Ilia Topuria, are going to face each other on 26th of June, if I'm not wrong. Now, this is a very, very interesting fight for one of my favorite fighters, that is Ilia Topuria. So I'll be a bit biased. There is no doubt about it that I'll be biased while talking about this fight, but it is what it is. But I'll try my best to talk about Josh Emmett. Now, Josh Emmett, I remember Josh Emmett losing to Jeremy Stephens. He got knocked out by Jeremy Stephens. And I also remember Josh Emmett losing to Yaya Rodriguez, the current interim UFC featherweight champion. So my two vivid memories of Josh Emmett are of losses. And also another fight that I know Josh Emmett is very famous for is his close fight with Calvin Kattar. Now, a lot of the people in the mixed martial arts industry, in the MMA community, gave that fight to Calvin Kattar, actually. So I don't know. I know Josh Emmett has knocked out a lot of people, but he hasn't really knocked out someone who's at the top of the food chain, in my opinion. Now, if we talk about Ilia Topuria, on the other hand, he has knocked out Jai Harbert, who is a lightweight. So he has great power in his hands. His boxing is really crisp. His grappling, as we saw against Bryce Mitchell, is pretty great as well. And he's undefeated. That's another big factor. So let me just take a look at their records. Okay, Ilia Topuria is 26 years old. He has 13 fights and all wins. He is 5 feet 8 inches tall. He fights from Spain. I think he grew up in Georgia, and his fight, his fights look really good. He won against Bryce Mitchell. Then he finished Jai Harbor. Then he also finished Ryan Hall. Before that, finished Damon Jackson, and he had only one decision win, that is against Yusuf Jalal. And apart from that, he won against Stephen Concalves, Louis Gomez, Brian Bolland, Joan Groen, Mika Hamalenen. These were all before UFC. And these were all finishes, by the way, all submissions. And I'm not going to talk about his previous fights, that is before the UFC fight. So I'll be talking more about his fights in the UFC. His only decision win was against Yusuf Jalal, and I don't know if Yusuf Jalal is in the UFC featherweight rankings as of right now. Yes, he's not there. So that's kind of, that. So yes, that makes doesn't make a lot of sense. Now, whatever it is, that was his debut in the UFC, and also, I mean, people don't really. I don't know if that fight tells a lot about Ilia Topuria, but overall, his resume looks really great. He submitted Bryce Mitchell, who in his own right is a great submission artist, who was also undefeated. Then he finished Jai Harbert, then Ryan Hall, out of all people. Nobody was willing to fight against Ryan Hall, but Ilia Topuria just defended all his leg attacks and finished him on the ground and made Ryan Hall look like an amateur. And I don't even know if Ryan Hall is fighting again. And I don't know if I think he retired Ryan Hall. So Ilia Topuria is good on the feet. He has power in his hands, which a lot of people are not talking about. He has power, which is not really very common in the 145-pound division, because the best fighters of 145, that is uh, Volkanovski and Mike Holloway, they're both not really power punchers. They don't really have clean knockouts, whereas uh, Topuria has. Now, Josh Emmett also has KO power in his hands, and that is what Emmett's bread and butter is. He's not exactly a technical striker, but then again, he also lost against a power puncher like Jeremy Stephens. So that goes to show that he can get cracked. His grappling is not really that great, in my opinion. Again, my memories of Josh Emmett are of losses against some really good fighters. Josh Emmet is also 38 years old. He's 12 years older than Ilia Topuria, and also in a featherweight division. That is really old for the featherweight division. In the heavyweight division or light heavyweight, I think 38 is not a great deal, because DC was probably champion at 38. Stipe, Glover is a champion at 42. Where was a champion at 42, and you know, Josh Emmett has had 18 wins and 3 losses. So I'll be taking a close look at his record. He had a decision. He lost against Yair Rodriguez, which was a triangle loss, then which was very recent. It was in February. Then he lost against one against Calvin Kattar. That was a controversial split decision. He had a unanimous decision win against Dan Ige, and before that he had a decision win against Shane Bargos, and he knocked out Mirsad Bektik. Now I don't even know who Mirsad Bektik is, but he finished Michael Johnson. Now, but then again, that is not the Michael Johnson that of today, right? Not the Michael Johnson of the past, that that was known for defeating people like Tony Ferguson and Dustin Poirier. So it is what it is. Then of course the he lost against Jeremy Stephens by elbows. So I don't know if he has fought someone who's as good as Topuria till now. No disrespect to Cater or Ige or Bargos. I mean, Dan Ige and Shane Bargos, they're always there in for the fight, but they're not really championship fighters. No disrespect to them, but they are there just to brawl. I mean, Topuria gets into a brawl as well, but Topuria can take you down and submit you on the ground, which none of the none of the 5 fighters that fought against that had won against recently can do. Even Jeremy Stephens is not exactly a wrestler, right? And so that kind of makes you know an interesting fight, in my opinion. The biggest asset for someone like Josh Emmett would be his power punching, and also the thing with that is that if you're going to trade power punches, then Topuria also has power in his hands. He's not somebody who does not have power or who depends on a lot of volume striking. Of course, Taporia probably will have better footwork and volume than Josh Emmett from what I have seen. I'm not a professional, but it is what it is, man. And I think that my bias or my pick for this fight will be Ilia Topuria. I think he gets a finish after considering his momentum that he has behind him, the experience that he has gained, and also his demeanor that he has. Like he's undefeated. He has defeated prospects like Bryce Mitchell and Jai Harbert. Jai Harbert is not exactly a prospect, but Jai Harbert is a great striker. He's way taller, way lankier than Josh Emmett. And for Josh Emmett, he has a puncher's chance. So does Topuria. They both have punching power. A lot of people are saying that Josh Emmett has a lot of punching power. Well, I think Topuria also has punching power. But where Topuria will shine and will outshine and will do great against Josh Emmett is his grappling. I hope that Topuria grapples in this fight and finishes his opponent on the ground like he did against Bryce Mitchell, or even someone like Ryan Hall, how he finished him on the ground. So for me, I'm picking Ilia Topuria by some kind of a finish. Maybe I can be wrong. You never know. This is UFC. This is MMA, a really unpredictable sport. But it is what it is. For this fight between Josh Emmett and Ilia Topuria, my pick is Ilia Topuria by some kind of a finish. Now, You guys can write me in the comment section who you think is going to win in this fight between Josh Emmet and Ilia Topuria. And yes, please subscribe to my channel. I've been really sick, had a kind of a minor surgery in my with my gums. So hopefully I'll be able to upload more videos as soon as possible. And yes, peace out.